Hello, and welcome to Luna's Literary Corner. On this channel, I talk about books, grammar, and other literary avenues. Today, I'll be recapping the books I read in January. It's a new year with a new me. At least, that's what I want to say. Every year, I try to make resolutions that will lead to a more productive and healthier me. Those goals never stick. To help make sure I don't disappoint myself too badly this year, I set my goals pretty low. In the case of reading, instead of doing a reading challenge where I would read 52 books based on categories, I will stick to just 13. Yes, my Goodreads goal is 52, but I don't feel as restricted when that number is attached to categories. So far this month, I started off strong by reading my first reading challenge book and finishing a book that I began in July last year. I might, emphasis on the might, have a channel update sometime this month, so be on the lookout for that. Or not. I'm kind of unreliable when it comes to major updates. However, let's just jump straight into the list. The Mysterious Affair at Styles by Agatha Christie is not only Christie's first published work, but it is also the first time that her famous detective Poirot appears in writing. The story follows the mysterious events surrounding the death of the matriarch of the family. However, with Poirot on the case, secrets soon come to light. I can easily see why Poirot became a favorite of mystery fans. His quirky personality and his ability to read people makes for an interesting detective. However, one of the downsides of the novel is the main character and narrator, Hastings. As is the case with some other mystery novels written during this time period, Hastings' tendency to salivate over multiple women or see them as less dangerous leads to him looking over many obvious clues and connections. This can be really annoying. Despite this, I thoroughly enjoyed reading The Investigative Mind of Poirot, and I hope to read more featuring him in the future. Overall, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Again But Better by Christine Riccio follows the college student Shane as she travels abroad for school. She believes this is her chance to do college the way she wants, with friends, classes she enjoys, and maybe she'll get a boyfriend. But what happens when these opportunities come crashing down around her? I chose this book for my Pick Your Poison reading challenge. I chose a book with better in the title as a way to say goodbye to 2020, and this was a good choice. While I won't go into spoilers here, Shane has the opportunity to do what many people wish they could do. While sometimes Shane was too quirky or the meta humor too prevalent, in many cases it added to the fun and my overall enjoyment of the story. I will have a full review of this book on my blog in the upcoming weeks, so stay tuned for that. Overall, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. When reviewing the 2020 Goodreads Book Choice finalists, I stumbled across many picture books that featured Black characters that I was interested in reading. In the process, I found other picture books that I wanted to read. All of these books do a good job in including diversity in them, from the writing to the pictures. While some did better than others, I do recommend giving these a look into when you get the chance. To read my full thoughts on each of these, please make sure to visit my blog as I wrote a post on these books. Bedtime Bonnet by Amanda Nancy Red gets a 5 out of 5 stars. Me and Mama by Cosby Cabrera gets a 3 out of 5 stars. Just Like Me by Vanessa Brantley Newton gets a 5 out of 5 stars. Anti-Racist Baby by Ibram X. Kendi gets a 3 out of 5 stars. I Am Enough by Grace Byers gets a 5 out of 5 stars. The biography of Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow is the one that helped inspire Lin-Manuel Miranda to create the musical, and it is one of my favorites. The influences are very prominent. I listened to the entire soundtrack and saw the musical on Disney Plus before I read the biography, and that helped me when reading it. I was able to make connections and stay engaged throughout reading and listening to it, as I had to switch through to audiobook about 8 chapters in. I really enjoyed reading it. However, when reading a lot of nonfiction stuff, I always have to have something to keep me engaged through it. Before, it has always been in relation to my schooling and my classes that I've taken. This time, it was because of the musical. I was able to make connections between what I read in the biography and what I saw in the musical and kind of note what the differences were that were made and why they were made. I will have a full review of this later this month, kind of looking at the comparison between the musical and the biography, but just kind of an overall general idea of what to expect when reading it. Overall, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I love Harley Quinn. So when I began reading volumes 1 and 2 of the Harley Quinn series by Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti, it wasn't a question of if I would like it. It was more a question of would I be able to follow the story and how quickly would I finish it. I do not know much about the DC universe nor the universe specifically that this falls under. So I'm hoping to learn more kind of as I go along, but unfortunately, I'm not the person to come to ask questions about, hey, what is going on with this superhero character or villain. In Volume 1, the beginning was really strong with a fourth wall break where Harley tried out different art styles from different comic book artists. It was really fun and I really enjoyed that section. However, the section with the cyborg operative dragged on for a little bit. Overall, I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Volume 2, the issues were less cohesive than in the previous volume. However, I enjoyed reading about her backstory and her interactions with Joker and Power Girl. The Power Girl kind of story was my favorite. Overall, I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. Something I will note that was interesting about both volumes, and I'm wondering if it's going to be continued in the other 2 volumes I have checked out, is that there were certain allusions to the Marvel Universe. In one issue, Harley referenced Daredevil in the sense of he was a lawyer friend of hers. In another issue, they made a hilarious parody of Thanos and the Infinity Stones. So I really enjoyed that, and I wonder if I see any more of it in future volumes. Adulthood is a Myth by Sarah Anderson is Anderson's first collection of comics. She focuses on the beginning of adulthood and the fact that everything we were told about it was a lie. I have stumbled across many of her comics online before, and I read her other 2 collections in 2020, and this one finishes the trilogy for me. While this one didn't have as many relatable comics as the others, it was still a really enjoyable read, and there were still many funny and real scenarios. Overall, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Okay, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully, I can keep the momentum going from the strong start I had in January. Even though I have the habit of not keeping my goals, the fact this video is on this channel and I have multiple books I was able to review for it means I'm doing well. Again, I'm always interested in learning more about other people's thoughts on books and authors, so if you have read any of the books that I read in January or have any recommendations, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you joined any reading challenges this year, let me know. I'm always interested in seeing kind of the different reading challenges there are. With this one, I was so excited for it because I got to choose my own categories. Bye, and have a wonderful day.